Hello everybody, how are you? This is Andreja and welcome to a new drawing time video. Today I will be working on a very special charm illustration. But before I go into details, let's cover the basics first for all the new people here. To draw, I use my Wacom Cintiq Companion 2, which is basically a tablet and computer all in one. Then, in terms of software, I use Adobe Photoshop CC for the sketch, and then Adobe Illustrator for the rest. I am using Illustrator because I want my work to be in vector, which means I can scale it up and down to infinity and there will be no loss of quality. As usual, I have all the links and info about my equipment and other useful stuff down in the description box. Today I am drawing Jess. I want her to hold a bunch of balloons to symbolize a special occasion. And that is intentional because this charm is a special reward for long-term supporters on Patreon. There are people that have been part of my Patreon family since launch. I'm so grateful about that, and sometimes I wonder, how are you not tired of me yet? So, as a way to say thank you for being part of my crazy journey, I want to give those people a little special present. I hope that whoever gets this charm will like it. Also, just quickly, since it is a very common question, in Photoshop I use just one of the default round brushes, and I make sure that transparency and brush size is dependent and linked with the pen pressure. That will give you those nice thin to thick lines which are good for sketching. My style of sketching is not the best to showcase these settings though. I use more of a sculpting way to sketch. In Illustrator I only use a handful of tools. 80% is done with the pen and pencil tool, while the rest is using the direct selection tool. I use the pen tool for very geometrical shape, while the pencil tool is for organic shapes that I draw like I would in Photoshop. The direct selection tool is to modify or tweak whatever I draw with the first two tools. You can tell which tool I am using not only from the highlighted icon, but also from the way I am drawing. With the pen tool you click drag, click drag, click drag to get a curvy shape, or just click, click, click to get a shape with sharp corners. When I use the pencil tool I just press and draw. Also, when using the pencil tool and you for example draw a shape, you can press Alt and it will turn your cursor into the smoothing tool, which can make your shape smoother. And then when you see the white arrow, it is when I am modifying each vertex or path segment manually. I hope this quick explanation helps a bit, so you can understand better the process and recognize what I'm doing in the video. Okay, enough of the boring technical stuff. What we usually do in these drawing time videos is answer questions that you left on my Instagram. So let's start, shall we? Question number 1. Where do you typically buy your art supplies? Honestly, there is no one single place where I am able to get all of my supplies. I could put together a list of 50 different stores and it would still not be enough to list all of them. 80% of my supplies are from online stores, be it eBay or Etsy, art stores online such as Larry Post, craft stores online like craftonline.com, then Amazon, then I get sticker paper from 3 different stores depending on the sticker paper that I need. My casting supplies come from a specialized store called Barnes, but at the same time I got many of my molds, glitters and resins online and during my trip to Japan. I also have like 10 local stores that I visit frequently where I source my supplies. There is Victorian Hobby Store, Riot Art and Craft, Officeworks, Eckersley's Art and Craft, Spotlight, Leancraft, Dean's Art, Melbourne Artist Supplies, just to name a few. Also, don't forget about places like Good Games and Mind Games, which are mostly known for selling playing cards and board games. They usually also have a section with art supplies that people use to paint their Warhammer figurines. So that means that they will have sealants, brushes, paints and more. But honestly, even though I have so many options locally, I buy online most of the time because it is much cheaper. Australia is so expensive. Just recently, when I bought the Cuckoo Harajuku doll, I paid 45 Australian dollars, which is about 36 US dollars. But if I bought it online, it would have cost me 19 US dollars. Or like how one single Copic marker here costs me $11 per marker, but in Japan I got them for $4 each. I'm not sure if this answered your question, but I hope it did. Next question. What was the first drawing you've ever done in Photoshop? I wish I could show you, but when I moved to Australia, my computer died and I lost all of my digital drawings that I've done up to that point. All I have left is the few pictures that I uploaded on DeviantArt and some scanned pictures of my traditional drawings. Maybe in the future, if you're interested, I can show you some of those instead. If you were a season, which one would you be? Probably spring. I always considered it to be my season because of my birthday. I also have very fond memories of chilly, foggy mornings when I was walking to school. And then also the chirping of the birds, trees in full blossom, and also I love the smell of spring. So yeah, I pick spring. Next question. How many hours a week do you spend creating content for your channel? I spend 90% of my free time working on content. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I work on videos from about 8 AM till late, up to 1 or 2 AM. It really depends on the day. But the minimum is 12 to 16 hours on those days, since they are my official video making days. Then from Wednesday to Friday, I still work at Moose. But as soon as I get home from work, I do more work on videos again until I go to bed. So on average, that is 2 to 4 hours each day on those days. Then Saturday and Sunday, it depends. I usually try to have at least a little bit of a social life and go out to brunch with friends for a few hours. I also take care of other adult commitments such as grocery shopping, going to the bank, etc. But as soon as I am done with that, I go back to work. On average, I spend another 8 to 16 hours working over Saturday to Sunday. But even though I work so much, I really struggle to keep up with my schedule. So right now I am trying to find ways to free up some of my free time by looking to hire a freelancer for 1 or 2 days to take over most of the video editing tasks. That would allow me to spend my time on creating rather than editing videos, which can take just as long as painting a doll or drawing an illustration. I hope I can find someone soon so I can use my time more wisely and creatively, because my list of video and project ideas is getting ridiculously long. But there is simply not enough time for me to keep up. Okay, last question. I love your style of illustration and would love to improve my technical skills. Do you have any recommendation, or is it better to enroll in a school or university program? As someone who is not even halfway through repaying my student debt and considering what I got out of uni, for me it was a little bit of a waste of time. 90% of my skills were learned outside of uni on my own in my free time. As most students, I was way too broke to keep paying for subscriptions for Linda or digital tutors. But every few months I managed to save those $50, and then I spent it on the monthly subscription and spent as much time as possible watching the tutorials. Then, when I could not afford paying for the subscription, I just asked Google. All the information is out there, you just need to be stubborn and persistent enough to find it. But then again, I don't know what other schools are like, but the one I went to was just not for me. I could talk about this topic for hours, but we're pretty much done with the illustration, so here is the finished illustration of Jess holding a bunch of rainbow balloons and wearing clothes that are based on one of my previous doll dress-up videos. You can see that she even has the cute Luna bag. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I will make sure to share with you the charms when they get here. I will have two versions, one where the balloons are transparent and one where the balloons are opaque. I can't wait to receive them and see which one looks best. So yeah, this is all I have for today. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, comment and share. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and I'll talk to you again next week. Bye!